Hey. In the zone with Duncan Cox. In the zone with Duncan Cox. In the zone. Sick.
Lovely. This is a great guitar. I'm a fan.
Word. All right, we're here.
We're here.
Thanks again for coming in.
Thanks for
Good
having
to
me.
have you.
It's a pleasure. Is this all
Yeah.
right?
Oh yeah, let's move it a little bit closer.
We're here.
Yeah,
How about that?
beautiful.
Great.
There we go.
All right. So,
Yeah, so
what's going on?
I want to start with how we met because it's pretty fun.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
It's pretty solid.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
So, Folk Fest this year.
Saturday night.
Saturday night. If you know, you know. Saturday night.
Wild
It's-
times.
Yeah. It's 4 a.m. and Shelby and I are like, all right, it's time. Finally, we're gonna hit a jam. There's also a funny story of why it took us so long to get there. We were gonna do it at like 1 or 2, but I'll get to that in a sec. Basically, we pull up, absolutely geeked as fuck on Molly, and start playing Wagon Wheel. And I heard you guys like over to the side of the bird cage. Like you weren't like playing, but you're making some noise. I'm like, okay, potential joiners. And so we start on Wagon Wheel, and then we hit the first chorus, and you guys come absolutely sliding in. You already know it. You're singing the harmonies, and then like my friends who we had brought there, they're like, yo, we thought you guys planned that. Like,
Oh, man. That was so fun. That was my friend Walker and I. Walker Rambo is his name, believe it or not. And he sings with the group Those Guys, which is an a cappella group in the city. Like a 10-guy a cappella group that I will sometimes sub in with. Is how we met. And I know his brother very well. He used to sing in that group as well. And so like that night, we had my campsite, Bubbleopolis, had just done a bunch of weddings.
Bubbleopolis.
So it was great. Like a bunch of my friends are musicians and actors, and so we're like, let's do something theatrical. So we married a bunch of different people. So we had like one of our friends is an officiant, and so we're like, oh, okay, great. So we have everything but the marriage license, and then it's like, oh, we'll have like greeters, we'll have a ceremony, we have a house band, which was just like listen to whatever they say, and then try and pick out a song and then play it.
Sick.
And so it was like, oh, we did that. It was great. The night kind of died down. Some people went to bed, and I was like, I'm just like so wide awake still.
Yeah.
So we went walking around, a couple of us, and then Walker and I like petered off. And we're like, oh, let's go to the tower. Let's play some music. And we heard you guys playing, and we're like,
Yeah.
where
There we go. Yeah.
That was so fun. My voice, I would have kept going. I had to go. My voice was fucking destroyed.
Oh, dude, me
It was
too.
terrible.
Dude, like after 4 nights of just nonstop singing, screaming, and cigarettes, I was cooked.
Yeah, I don't even smoke, but I think I smoked one of your cigarettes perhaps that was on the ground when I went back to the tower after somehow we left. And then I was like, oh, okay, I'm tired now. And going back to my site, and my friend Corey ran up to me, and he's got his like mandolin. He's like, do some jamming. I'm like, okay, sure. So we went back to the tower and sat there as the sun rose and just like played some nice soft songs. I was like, hey, there's a cigarette on the ground. And I'm like, I'm gonna smoke that.
That's
I was like, this
glorious.
is. He's like, that's fucking scuzzy, man. That was a great night and a great jam. How long did the jam?
It must have been an hour at least.
At least an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we had left site around 3:30, and then it took us a little bit to get there. But we were there until the sun was up, or like until it was light out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The best.
Yeah. And I was like, oh, okay, like, so I was struggling when you guys, we would like rotate or like, like who's picking a song, right? So on your, like, even on my songs, I was not even in like a perfect state of mind to like be nailing them. So I'm like missing stuff on my songs, and you guys would pick one, and I'm just like so intent, like look at your heads, like,
oh man. You know, there was some guys on the side being like, four non-blondes, and I was like, I was like, I don't know how to play What's Going On by Four Non-Blondes. I don't know it well enough to do anything. Yeah. And then eventually we played it.
Yeah.
And and I was like, oh, it is the easiest song in the world. I was like, I'm an idiot. Why did I?
Oh, because was that the one where like somebody came up and they're like, these are the chords?
Yeah, they're like, I'll put a
one.
capo on the first fret and play something else.
Okay, yeah.
It was. There's also other people who joined in that jam. Tim on the banjo joined, who's camping near us. He's a great musician. And then his
and the upright
friend
bass.
who was on the upright bass. Yeah. It was very funny. Yeah. He was like, it's like, don't play a song in C sharp. And I was like, sorry. I was like, my bad, I guess. I don't know. Whatever, man. Yeah. It's just funny.
But then I remember like, there's a couple where like, cause I was like struggling to stay locked in on the new songs, and then there would be ones where like, okay, like I'm not in the frame of mind to like think, but like I know the song well enough that like if I just like black out for a second, I can probably nail it.
Yeah.
And so there was one where like you hit the I need a hero, which went off. That was a good.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
It's not an easy song. And it's not a very, like, it's not a jamming song. I was just running out of songs. I was like, okay, what's stuff from my personal rip?
I thought it was
like,
a
it's
good
just
pick.
too hard to be, like, there's too many chord changes for it to be, like, a solid jamming song.
Right.
For people to just, like, follow along with. I think, anyways. Yeah. I'm always like, I love some songs that just kind of change chords all the time. But I'm like, wow, but they're not good jamming songs. So they're not easy to follow along to.
Yeah.
So I'm always like, oh, okay, what's a good song? What's a song that everybody knows? Because I'm like, I didn't.
The list is pretty small. I feel like
it is right,
and the key qualifier of it also, it's like actually dope. Like,
like
right? Most of them are like
song people are gonna like.
Yeah.
I didn't grow up like listening to the radio.
Yeah,
really, I grew up kind of listening to like my dad's music on CDs. So I'm like, well, I can nail any old folk song. But I'm like, but nobody else knows these songs.
Yeah.
Like, you know. Nobody wants to hear James Keelahan or David Francie at that jam.
Yeah.
You know, one of my friends, Sharon, she throws a block party and lives in Wolseley, and it's like, you know, David Francie is an old, like, he's probably, I don't know, in his late 70s or early 80s maybe, and he's like an old folk singer. And some little girl who was probably about 6 years old was like, "Do you know any David Francie?" I was like, I've waited for this moment all my life. It was great. I was like, that's where it is.
Yeah. No one was shouting out David Francie.
No.
They were there.
No.
Lion King. That was funny. We did end up doing Lion King.
Do we?
Yeah.
I just can't wait to be king.
Maybe. In the jungle.
Oh, yes, right. Yeah. Right.
Yeah. And then there was, this is a really funny one because I kept fucking up the weight. You guys picked the weight, which I've played it a couple of times too, but there's a lot of changes. But it was the vocal, because when I sing along to it, I'll like sing the harmony as well. Like it's like a 3-part thing. So like,
oh yeah.
So I would start it.
Okay,
I would go and then I would just lose it.
Well, because it does that with put the load rattle.
Yeah.
I've been at jams with one of my friends, and every time that song comes up, he's always like, people will start doing his stacking, and he's like, "No, that's not how it goes."
Yeah.
It's so fun because I'm like, I just don't know it well. Don't know the band very well.
Yeah.
But
then so like, because I kept fucking it up, and then Walker on like the second last one, he's like, he looks at me, he's like, "Surely next time," and I'm like, "I don't even think so." Like we're just laughing, and then the last one comes around, and of course I fuck it up, and we all just like howling. It was so funny.
That's so funny because I can tell that's a direct quote because that's exactly how Walker talk. Surely next time.
Yeah.
Oh, that's funny. That's very funny.
Yeah. And then because we were running out of songs too, we ended up closing on Nickelback because we like played like 3 closers already. We're like, we need something, like, oh fucking just hit the big one. And then we're just like, okay, well we need one more, like, so we were digging.
The people want it.
Yeah.
The people wanted it.
Yeah, it was
that is how long you been going to Folk Fest?
Like I think that was my 9th.
Okay. So like, you know Vinyl Village. Vinyl Village was the big jam space out by just off the main road.
Oh, okay.
And it was under one of those, like, an actual, like, readily built shelter thing.
Oh, yeah.
And it's not there now.
Yeah.
But they used to run it. I used to play in a band with one of the people who ran it. And that was like the place to be for me at Folk Fest, because I was like, I'll go bring a guitar or whatever, and like you can go and lead a jam for I would show up and be like, oh good, you're here, you can lead a jam for an hour or something like that. And I was like, fuck, it was so fun. I miss it so much. So that was just like phenomenal. You know,
it's a good meeting spot. And then like people are like hanging out there, and it really feels like we pulled up at like 4 a.m. and we're just kind of like, so are you guys all like sitting around like waiting for something cool to happen? Like I think, and like, hey, we got something cool that could maybe happen.
You know, it could have been an installation.
Yeah.
It was earlier, the Fufu Chichi Choir sang some songs in the tower at midnight, and they're like, they're great. They're friends of mine.
Oh, sick.
And
and that guy also had the light thing.
Yeah.
In the center, like he brought like some sick lighting rig.
God, and it's like it's so cool. That's just, yeah. I love that about Folk Fest. I love that about the Folk Fest campground, is that you have people who it's like, they'll just keep the jams going.
Yeah.
You can just literally walk
all
around
night.
and find a jam and go hang out.
Yeah.
You know.
And everyone's very welcoming. Like, come in.
Yeah.
Come jam. You know.
Who's your friend on the cajon?
Shelby.
Bandmate.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So in Banana Crisis, it's you, Shelby,
and Alec, our other friend on.
Okay.
Well, I guess it's like we're 3, and then like that's the band, and then we have a 4th on bass that'll like play with us.
Nice.
But he's also moving to.
Who's that?
His name's Elijah. He's moving to England as well.
Oh,
to,
crazy! Maybe he can live with my roommate.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But this is what I was gonna say. So, why we took so long to get there, because we did the bird cage the night before at like 1 a.m, and it was magical. It was great. We're doing that again tonight. I'm so excited. We're like all day I'm thinking like, oh, this is gonna be so much fun. And then come back from the shows that night, and we're like getting ready. We're like okay, like 1 or 2 songs, quick warm up, and we're heading. We're so excited. And I start playing, and I'm like something's wrong. I'm like, I'm missing words that I shouldn't be. I'm like forgetting these songs that I like really know, and I'm like I just feel off. I'm like, what's happening? So Shelby's like, no rush. He's like
take some drugs.
Yeah. Well, that was the thing. I'm like, am I too high? Am I not high enough? Like I don't know
where's the sweet spot.
Yeah. I'm not in the pocket. I don't know. So, I took a little bit more drugs. And then we were like, because Shelby was like, we have all night, right? Like it's Saturday night. We got all night. Like don't worry about it. Like we'll come back to it in like an hour or two, whatever. So I come back to it in an hour or two or whatever. And I'm still like, I'm just not there. I'm like something's off. I'm like, what is happening? So eventually I'm just like, hey, it's 3:30. Like if we're doing it, we gotta basically do it now. Uh-huh. I'm like, I'm just gonna go meditate in my tent real quick, like clear my head, and then come out. Like literally, like 3 minutes, I'll be back. He's like, okay. So go in my tent, like empty my pockets to meditate, and I take out of my pockets my earplug case and realize I've had my earplugs in the whole time, like since the shows.
That seems like you were a bit too high situation in that case if you didn't notice.
But they are comfy. They're the best ones I've ever had. But
are they the kind with the hole in the middle, so it's like you still get some sound?
Yeah, it's like the musician ones, like. So, and then like I take
for all you non-musicians out there, we have our own special
earplugs. we got good ones. All right, musician concert, whatever.
Yeah.
So, and as soon as I take them out, I play one chord. I'm like, there it is. Like, Jesus. So like, now we're ready. Now we can go.
That's awesome.
But it is a good thing I found them, because like, we were gonna go to the cage no matter what. And I'm just imagining like if I just pulled up with them still in and just didn't notice until like I went to sleep that night. Yeah, so we got wild. It done,
man.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
So it'd just be like, oh, I'm just walking around, don't even know, have no idea. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I aggressively will like try and pop my ears sometimes, because I'm just
with
like
the plugs,
like without plugs. Because I'm just like, my head will get full or whatever. I'm just like, I'm just gonna do some of that, and like, sometimes it just feels so good. Like, it's funny how that little thing would have been like, oh,
Yeah.
you know? Crazy.
Yeah.
I love the Folk Fest.
Oh, it's the best.
That's like the most free I feel all year.
Yeah. We wrote a song basically.
I sure did.
Yeah. Happiest Me.
Birds Hill Park.
Yeah.
I love it. It's yeah, I mean that's a special place for me. I've spent a lot of time in that park. That's yeah, I mean all that stuff in there. Like I name a bunch of the trails in that song.
Yeah.
I've gone like cross country skiing. It's kind of where I learned how to cross country ski over the pandemic.
Cool.
And like, you know, there was the year that gas was super cheap, so I was like, I'm just gonna go out like 4 times a week because I have no job and nothing to do. And then the next year I went out like, I don't know, a handful of times because gas was super expensive. But I've like navigated all those trails now. I was in this television show on CBC Gem called Altar Boys, and it was about some young guys at a conversion therapy camp, and I ended up, me and one of the other actors had like a sex scene out on the ground in the woods, and we filmed it at Birds Hill Park. And I was like, so there's this line where I go, through the gap in the trees where we fell on our knees and we hankily-pankied on a blanket leaves from the trees. And I'm like, that's that. You know, I'm like, it's just like that park has been so instrumental in my life as a Winnipegger, you know?
Yeah, sure.
It's great.
And speaking of more acting, you got, well, and others, like everything, but Afterlight.
Yeah, Afterlight's coming up.
Looks
It's
sweet.
That's what I've been working on
Yeah.
like heavily. But I've been working on that show forever. But we did a mounting of it in 2023, and now it's not all that common that new musicals in Winnipeg will get a second run.
I was thinking that, like, that's huge.
So it's very cool. I mean, I think it's got legs. And so we're trying to get some people from out of town to come in and check it out. It's for any listeners who don't know, which is probably most of them. It's a musical that I've written with my friend Sharon Bezier. There's 2 characters. I play a 500-year-old vampire named Razvan, and she plays a 85-year-old woman named Wanda. And they meet, and they find that they actually have a lot in common, and they're going through kind of similar struggles in life. Or death, I guess, if you want to say, in his case. So, yeah, they start hanging out, and you know, it's a charming story, 2-act musical. I wrote all the music and lyrics for it, and my friend Paul DeGurse arranged it, who plays in the band To the Bottom of the Sea with me. Nice. And it's just like a phenomenal musician and keyboard player, and yeah. So actually, Sharon and Paul and I got together today to sing through a bunch of the songs. And it was great. We're like going through and making changes. Oh, do we need these 2 bars? Nope, cut them. Nope. You know, trying to just really tighten everything and make sure it's the clearest it can be. So I'm thrilled. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. That's such a massive undertaking. Like,
it's a stupidly massive undertaking. Yeah. Like it's I don't know. I have no right.
Yeah. Like I was thinking about this, like, man, because basically like writing an album, and also writing a movie, and then like shooting the movie and recording the album live on stage. Like, what the fuck is that? That's insane.
It's crazy. And I mean, like, Sharon and I have been meeting regularly now again to kind of go through the script and be like, you know, there's all these different elements of like, how does this, like, what is the story? Does every single scene, like, you know, you don't get points for making it longer. You get points for being like, how concisely can you tell the story with enough time that you're like, oh, I'm still honoring what is there. You know, I'm a big story guy. That's like all my songs are storytelling songs. It's funny. I'm doing a gig this next week with a friend. We're playing at the rec room, and she suggested all these songs, and I'm learning them, and they're like really like pop songs, The Beaches, and who I was kind of unfamiliar with. I'm listening to these songs. I'm like, man, these songs are great, and they're super catchy, and they kind of like lightly tell a story, but they're really like pop songs, you know, like Sabrina Carpenter stuff, Chaperone stuff. And I'm like, that's great. It's so not the kind of stuff that I write. Yeah, stuff that I write is so story driven. And
we wrote a whole Hamlet album performance, one-man show thing.
Yeah, that was my friend Andrew Davidson was writing this show. and said they had an actor originally in mind and he couldn't do it, and he said, "Oh, that's great. I'd love to work with you. Would you, come on?" And I said, "Yeah, sure. Who's writing the music?" And well, hopefully you are. That's great. I'm like, that actually makes me way more interested in the project because. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not going to say I'm a classically trained actor, but I went to theater school and have, like, an understanding of Shakespeare and how that works, and it's very cool. I've done music for this thing called Shakespeare in the Pub, which was a group that used to run. They did kind of, book in hand, very reduced Shakespeare readings, just like set in bars. So there was like one in Sucrum's, one in a little brown jug.
Cool.
And so it was just, you'd come and grab a beer and hang out and watch actors get drunk and do a Shakespeare play to the best of their ability, right?
That's pretty sweet.
But it was cool. I mean, so we wrote that show and kind of, when you write music for a show, for me anyways, it's always like kind of back and forth, oh, well, I think this song, and then you want to adjust the scene to set up this song better. Yeah, sure, I adjusted the scene, but maybe we could change this line in the song to better fit the over arc of the play. Yeah, sure. So I adjusted that, and I'm like, well, maybe we could just adjust the fallout. So it's really like when you're working with somebody, you're really working with somebody. Mm-hmm. So it was cool. I mean, I did that, and then I wanted to use. Andrew owns this building called the Gargoyle Theater on Ellis, right across from the West End Cultural Center. It's a gorgeous space. He redid it all, and yeah. So I wanted to record on the stage there with my band. Some band full versions so that we could put it out before we do a tour, because we toured it to schools. It's like a one-man show. And he was like, why don't we just do a concert? And we can sell tickets to it, have like a live audience. And I was like, yeah, that sounds great. But then I'm like scratching my head. I'm like, oh yeah, but that means we also have to get it in one take.
Yeah.
Which is, I'm like, no pressure.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I guess I have to know the songs and sing them well. And everybody has to play them well, which like, I mean... So what you hear in that recording is just like live off the floor. Mm-hmm. And then our friend Dane Bjornson mixed it, and we sent it off, had it mastered, and it was like, I was like, man, it's like, this sounds pretty freaking good for like one take for everybody. Yeah. When we only learned the songs like earlier that week.
Yeah.
I was like, Jesus Christ, but it was cool. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah, man.
And so, wait, did he write the words, or you wrote the words?
I wrote the words. I kind of ended up doing like music and lyrics.
Okay.
But Andrew had come to me with some ideas for like, oh, maybe we can, like the first song on that album is called Truly Deliver, and it's a Horatio monologue that's from the end of the show. So he had moved that Horatio monologue to the beginning of the show, because Horatio at the end of Hamlet says, everybody dies, and the king of Norway comes in and goes, what the hell happened? And he goes, let me tell you about what happened. So, let me speak to the yet unknowing world how these things came about. And I thought, well, that's kind of a perfect introduction, actually.
Yeah.
So I'm like, that's actually a really good first song. So I took that monologue where he had moved it and rearranged it and turned it into a song. Yeah, so it was cool. I mean, it was pretty collaborative. He thought, maybe here's some placeholder lyrics for a couple songs. And I thought, yeah, like, these ones are good. I'm going to massage these, and these ones are good, Yeah.
I thought it was really cool. Like, I have not read Hamlet yet.
Yeah.
It's on my very long list. Actually, I bought it kind of recently. I saw it at a thrift store. And I was like... And when you were coming on, I'm like, man, like, do I fucking just send it and read Hamlet in preparation for this interview? But I was
man,
like,
it is.
I thought, like, even if I do, I'm not gonna. I have to like dig into it to really like get it.
It's the longest Shakespeare play.
Oh, it is.
It's the longest play, and generally is 4 hours long. The play, because it's done in 5 acts, and it is just so long.
Yeah,
as a lot of Shakespeare plays are, but I mean, like, nobody has the capacity. So I'm like, for me. It was like, how do we get this? We had to shrink it down to an hour, and so it was really, it was a feat writing and tightening that show to an hour, because I'm like, well, you have 22 minutes of music, and so you have to tell the rest of the story in like 35 minutes,
Yeah.
To leave 3 minutes for action in there.
Yeah.
And it's so we just we cut characters left, right, and center. And, really streamlined a lot of it. But I mean, like, Hamlet it's a great show. Andrew and I are like, oh, are we done with this show, or is there more that we can do with this? He talked to me the other day about going, maybe it's not a one person play, and maybe we expanded into like a 90-minute musical and have multiple actors, and I think that'd be very cool.
That would be cool.
So I said I'm interested, but you know, yeah, it's just cool. It's great to, you know, you put a lot of time and energy into anything, and it's certainly like for musicians, you know, you make an album, and then you tour the album or you do shows, and you always play those songs, right? And you always have those songs are always out there. With a theater show, it's like you build this theater show, you make it, you perform it for your, you know, very short run.
And
that's it.
Yeah.
You know, unless you do something else with it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm for that reason, I'm super excited Afterlight is getting another run, because I thought, like, his play can go to other places, and I think it will be. Yeah, I have high hopes for that play.
Nice.
Yeah, it's a cool story.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And Afterlight, how'd you even? Was that your concept?
You know, it was. I had been toying in as far back as 2017. I had this idea, a voice memo in my phone, of one of the early motifs from the show. Mm-hmm. It was just called The Vamp. It was this idea of like a lovelorn vampire. In 2019, in that summer, I did a play called Strike the Musical at Rainbow Stage, and Sharon, who I wrote the show with, she directed it. And after that show, I had sort of a heartbreak and was devastated, and wrote more about this sad lovelorn vampire, because sometimes it's easier to process your feelings by creating a fictional character and whatever. And so I said, you know, here's a story of some lovelorn vampire, you know, saying, no, I can't do this. I can't be with this woman. And I told her about this concept of that. And Sharon went, what if the woman that he's like interested in is like an old woman? And I was like, of course she's
that makes a lot of sense.
Of course she's an old woman. I'm like you're 500 years old, and you're looking around and you're like, man, you know what? I still love in a woman. I love this 20-year-old woman because she's hot. And it's like, really? Like, still? You're still fucking shallow 500 years in? It's like, you know, the idea of being like, oh, I have lifetimes of experience, and you at least have you have one whole lifetime of experience. Mm-hmm. And that's so sexy, you know, to have lived. And even things like, what's beautiful about this show is, like, you know, he looks at her wrinkles that he'll never have, you know. It's this grass is greener thing. Oh, you've got like gray hair that is so like attractive, because it's just something like it's new, you know. You're wrinkly and you've got like bags and you're like your jowls, for Christ's sake, you know. And of course for her, she's like, this young man thinks I'm like so attractive, and like he's a beautiful young looking guy, you know, but also has like the soul of an old person. It's so, yeah, I mean, like, you know, I had the idea of a vampire. Sharon cracked it open with the idea of going, it's an old woman, and the two of them. And so we kind of went on to write it, and, you know, in writing, I mean, like, Sharon's older than I am, but she's not 85, you know, certainly. And so we went and we interviewed some octogenarians, people in their 80s, and got their experiences. And a lot of them, it was like, you know, struggles with mental health and with dementia, and, you know, how does that affect? How does loss affect? You know, at that point you see your friends dropping more frequently, and not for any, you know, nefarious reasons, just because they're getting old.
Yeah.
And yeah, struggling with kind of watching the world go on. People, you know, you see the same mistakes and things, you know. So we learned a lot from those interviews. Yeah. And it's, you know, Sharon's character, Wanda, she has a husband as well, who's now missing from the picture. And so what is that? You know, what is that void? And the guilt that comes with filling a void of a husband who's no longer there, or just a partner, you know, who you've lost, and now somebody comes in and you go like, oh, can I do that? What is, you know, just the idea of like moving on gets harder and harder when you have less distance to go.
Right.
You know, even things of I've thought a lot about like, and it's not in the play, but I've thought a lot about religion for older people. And you go, well, I've struggled all my life for the promise of an eternal reward, and now you're going to tell me that there's no eternal reward? So it's tough as you get older people who are like, I'm as young people, we go like, why are you clinging to religion? Like, why are you clinging to these ideas? It's like, well, because the reality is it's just harder to let go the older you get.
Yeah.
Of those things. You are more steeped in your traditions, and it's not a fault, and it's not impossible to let go, but it is significantly harder to let go than it is for young people who go, yeah, but I could let go, and then 20 years later I could try it again or try something else, you know?
Yeah.
But when you only have 20 years left or 10 years left or 30 years left, as opposed to, shall we say 60 or 50, if we're being generous.
Yeah.
Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, it's like, how do you, with so little time to go, you're just like gonna abandon what you've had had your whole life, and then you're just like, oh, okay, so was that all just what was my life then? If I'm not,
Well, yeah, right. Yeah. Especially if you focus on the negative.
Yeah.
And you go like, man, it's strange. I grew up pretty Catholic. I'm not Catholic anymore. But like, so I grew up kind of steeped in this church and church music. And I love the music of the church. I think it's all good. It's like, there's some gorgeous, gorgeous stuff there. There's a song, it's called Gather Us In. And in the final verse of it, it says, I think it's actually wise. It's one of the wisest things I've heard in a church hymn. It goes, not in the dark of buildings confining, not in some heaven light years away, but here in this place, new light is streaming. Now is the kingdom. Now is the day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yes, it really is. This is the time that we have. Make this time the best. So it's, that's kind of the perspective from which I come into writing this show about older people. When realistically, Wanda's 85 and Razvan's 500, so I have no idea what that's like, but we try our best.
Yeah. When you started writing it, did you have yourself in mind always as the lead, or did that come about later?
I would love to see a production of Afterlight where I'm not in it.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that's the goal, but like, that is the goal, is to go to make something that's bigger than you.
Right.
It's like, as a musician, somebody covering your song.
Yeah.
And going like, I don't find myself jealous thinking about that idea. I'm like, wow, like you want to cover my song. Like, you want to be in this thing that I made. Somebody likes this thing enough to do it.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's awesome. I love playing that role. But there's also other things in that production I could do. It's funny, for Sharon, she's only going to age into that role. I'm going to age out of that role pretty soon.
Right.
There's only this time I already have gray hair. I'm like, and I'm only 28.
Yeah.
But I'd love to see somebody else. I'd love to play guitar on one of these productions, or music direct one of these productions, or something.
So is it live music on the whole thing?
Oh yeah.
Is it nice?
6-piece band.
Hell yeah.
Yep. Rhythm section of guitar, bass, drums, guitar. Oh, hold on. Wait, guitar, bass, drums, and keyboard, and cello and violin.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's sweet.
Which is great. So this is like my band, the band at the bottom of the sea. This is how we came together. So they're the band from Afterlight.
Oh, cool.
So I did 2 musicals in kind of 2023, 2024, End of the Line and Afterlight. And they were, End of the Line had a 4-piece band, and then I played guitar on a couple songs while also being an actor in it. And then Afterlight had this 6-piece band. So the rhythm section was Paul on keyboard, Matt on bass, Josh on guitar, Brendan on drums, and then I would occasionally play other things, and I wrote all the music. And we just liked playing together so much that we were like, we should just should just be a band.
Yeah, that's sweet.
So it's kind of funny. Like, my band will play, we'll play some songs from Afterlight. in our sets, but just with all like the different lyrics or original lyrics that I wrote for them,
Right.
that are not about that show but other things, and I hijacked them. And
It would be funny if mid show you're talking about, and I'm a
I'm
vampire.
a vampire. Yeah, exactly, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, it's cool. I mean, they're all fantastic musicians. I just try to keep up. My if I didn't write the songs, I would have no business playing with people that good.
That's funny.
But yeah,
Nice.
yeah, it's cool.
Bring the mic just a little bit closer.
Oh
sir.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Thank you. Well, yeah, it's the table is blocking.
That's all right. How's
There
that?
you go.
I
Yeah,
can
it's
even
good.
do that.
Nice, yeah.
Bingo.
Beauty.
Nice.
What else got? I had a couple notes, but we've
Mm-hmm.
covered the main stuff. I know this is like asking a musician like what comes first, music or lyrics, but like what comes first, story or like on a musical theater production? Story or the music work?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I think that everything is it's such a web of intermingled things, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where, I mean,
Yeah.
I wrote
Please.
the first song that I wrote was called, at the time it was called "I'm Not the Man," and I was going. So it was this like, that became one of the sounds of Afterlight. And it runs through so many things where it's like a root chord, and then you go to a minor 5 and a major 4 and the root. And it's a very particular sound that's not all that common. And so you have this, don't think that I don't feel your eyes. It's tempting enough just to hear your voice if I look at you. But it's also in the first song where you get this. I stand on the railing of this bridge, my toes peeking over the ledge. And so it's in both of these songs.
That's a really cool that's a whole like concept that I've never really explored, of having motifs coming in and out, and like
it's
having
one of these things that I love about there's about like musicals is how all of that functions. Like there's in a play there's what's called dramaturgy. So you'd have like the playwright, and then you have a dramaturg, somebody who comes in and they dramaturg the play. So they go, this makes me ask questions, and read through and go like, this thing here doesn't make sense. And they're basically like an editor, but not to edit your play for you. They just ask you questions. And so there's this whole thing of like musical dramaturgy of what is the music saying? Like, what is the musical story that we're telling? Because oftentimes in musicals, it's not necessarily enough to go, well, it sounds good.
Right.
Everybody's in all the time. Why is everybody in all the time? I don't know, because they are. It's like, why is the violin not playing here? Why is the violin playing here? Just asking those questions of going like, we have a gap. We can put in this motif from earlier into this thing. There's a big section near the end. It happens about 3 times in the show, actually, where you get this, it's a big struggle of, my character goes, when does it end? And you hear these motifs that run through over the top on electric guitar. And so one of the motifs is this, which is a song from earlier. And they get, all 4 words do contend. And there's another motif from earlier, when does it end? And another motif from later, and so I'm like, just being able to use for somebody who has listened through the album or who has watched through the show, they connect those motifs with moments. And so you go, when you say that line and that thing plays, I felt something and I don't know why. But the why is because you associate that theme in your mind with that feeling.
Yeah.
We've already discussed. It's very, very cool stuff.
Cool, yeah.
And I'm like, I love writing that way. Yeah. It's cool. I think there are lots of writers who do that. You like the Cranberries?
I haven't really given them
Yeah.
much of a listen.
They've got, it's probably not the best example, but it's just the first one that came to mind. They have a song called Electric Blue off of their album The Faithful Departed, which came out in 1996, and it starts with like Dolores O'Riordan, their singer, like the Cranberries did Zombie, right?
Yeah, yeah.
And she's got this haunting voice. And on their previous album, that happened like in the middle of a song. Of what song is it? It's off of I'm not going to be able to remember now, but it's off their No Need to Argue album, which came out 2 years earlier in 1994. And I'm like, just that, even like cross album being like, this is a melody that we loved. Let's put it into something else. I'm like, I love that. Steal from yourself.
Yeah.
To make that.
It reminds me of the Beatles did that too on, I forget the song now, but it's like they have this chaotic outro thing and they call back the "She Loves You," yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Off of
Or was that All You Need Is Love?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's
like
a great. And
years earlier, yeah.
Well, yeah. Why not?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I love stealing from myself. It's one of the things in Afterlight. I had this song. I was like, we need to write this song. Let's call it The Mysteries of History. And I'd written this song earlier in the pandemic when I was in the phase of writing. I'm like, let me just write about a bunch of mundane stuff. And I wrote a song called The Gladiators of Old Saint Vitel. And so I then ended up stealing it and turning it into a song called The Mysteries of History. And I went, but I like The Gladiators of Old Saint Vitel, so I rewrote it in a different style, but kept all the lyrics and kept a lot of the like licks the same. And then later on, we needed a reprise for Mysteries of History, so I stole the new version of Gladiators
right.
and use that now as the History of Mysteries, which is like the reprise. And my band will play both of these songs and be like, what the fuck is going on? Because they're like slightly different. It's fun.
Sweet. And so are all the Band at the Bottom of the Sea boys on this run of Afterlight?
Everyone except for Josh on guitar. Because
okay.
Josh is also an actor, and he's playing Paul Simon right now at Mayfield in Edmonton. And while he's gone, I'm living in his house.
Yeah.
Good guy.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's a sweet contract. And he's killing it. So
sick.
Yeah. So we have Dan Nemes coming in and playing, who just did a gig with the Band at the Bottom of the Sea on bass, actually.
Oh, nice.
So he's playing guitar on this show, and he's like, he's a monster guitar player. He's so good.
Nice.
So
hell yeah.
Yeah, I'm thrilled. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah, it sounds really sick. What is it? October 24 to
November 2nd at the Franco Manitobain Cultural Center in St. Boniface, right off Provencher.
Nice.
Yeah. It's a good time.
Yeah.
You should come check it out.
I am heavily considering it.
You should.
Sick. Yeah.
You should. It's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We've covered all the main projects, I suppose. How did you like start in music and in theater? Like, what was your origin story like?
I didn't really take, I started doing theater in high school. Me and my group of friends were like, let's take drama class. Okay. And we did. And I went to Kildonan East Collegiate. So it's like in East Kildonan, believe it or not. And my drama teacher, Tanis Francis, was just like instrumental in me deciding to be like, I want to do this. It's a small program there. It's a vocational school. So it's like really heavy on shops and electrical. And they have like a great culinary and pastry program. But the music and the theater, they're significantly smaller programs. So, downsides to it, obviously, but also plus sides being, the teachers go like, well, you can make it your own because you're the only people who are doing it. So, when I was in my grade 12 year, I said like, can we do The Princess Bride as our play? And she was like, well, there's no like play version of it, but if you want to adapt it, sure. So I was like, okay. So it was my first chance, my first like real kick at like creating something,
right?
Or adapting something and being like, I'll I'll do this. So, and then we did it. And it's like, you know, I went back, I graduated with, well, I guess last year I graduated last year. No, I graduated about 10 years ago last year.
Yeah.
So some would call that 11 years even.
Yeah.
But they had me in for a PD day to talk to the teachers about just like, you know, things that I got good in my education. I like really appreciated in education and things where I thought were, you know, I would have loved to learn. And I thought it was funny how much they all still talked about Princess Bride. And they were like, it was such a cool show.
That's awesome.
And I was like, man, that left like a really lasting impact on people. I was like, I know it left a lasting impact on me, but yeah, it was quite touching to see that. So I went to U of W after that for theater. I've always just kind of tinkered as a musician and a writer. I like writing songs, but I never, you know, I did choir and I played the clarinet in band. That's actually my first album. It's called Christmas with Duncan.
No way.
And I recorded it in grade 7 or grade 8 and it's like you can hear my name being paged on the announcements, and it's just like I think there's 16 copies. I'm trying to track them all down, destroy them because it's so fucking bad.
That's so funny.
I have an aunt and uncle who live in England, so it's, you know, they have one copy there. So I'm like, oh, we sold overseas.
Yeah.
It's like,
International, baby.
But it's just like, yeah, I mean, I kind of had taught myself how to play guitar
That's so
and
funny.
piano, and
I wish I had the gumption when I was 14 or whatever, 12, to make a Christmas album.
it's tragic. I was like, my cousins still razz me about it. They're like, oh, here, I'm going to play a song on my licorice stick, the clarinet. I'm like, oh, God, fuck me. But, yeah, if that ever comes out, I'll be ruined. But, yeah, I mean, as time went on, I did kind of theater. I did 3 years at U of W, and then I had auditioned for a show, got lucky, booked a show out of town, and it came back to here at the MTC. And yeah, some friends and I started a theater company that we ran for a good number of years called Walk and Talk. And yeah, we had a lot of shows, and they taught me a lot about, you know, who I am as a creator. And we did like 3-person musicals, and I wrote all the music and lyrics for them. So I was like, that's kind of where I started doing that. And I've just gone on, done like solo stuff myself as a musician. Yeah. Played with my friend Corey in a band called Good Show for a while. Corey really taught me how to jam with other people.
Nice.
You know, which is like, it's its own kind of skill.
Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
not everybody learns that way.
Yeah.
There's people who still, you know, who are very accomplished musicians who can't jam. Because they're like, I want to know what I'm playing. I'm like, that's fine, but it's so fun to jam.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know?
Yeah,
but it is like, it's weird, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know.
I was gonna ask this too about Afterlight. Did you get like any funding for it, or how did that? Because this is a huge like. Yeah. Like,
no. The first time we did it, we had gotten grants from the Canada Council for the Arts and Manitoba Arts Council, and that was great. We had like a nice chunk of money. And we sold a lot of tickets, and we all made money. We topped up everybody's pay, and it was like, oh, it was great. This time, like we couldn't apply for this project because we've already done this project.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
So we had some existing funds left over from the project. Other than that, we don't have any money.
Going out on a limb.
We were very much like we've started a fundraiser, and we were just like pretty shamelessly just like, hey, want to give us money?
Yeah.
Because people want to see the show. We want to do the show.
Yeah.
We have our presenting partners, Rainbow Stage, on the show. And they are very generously like doing marketing and box office and all things that cost a lot of money.
Yeah,
so those
huge.
are costs that are covered by them as the presenter. But to actually mount the show, we still need the show costs, it will cost upwards of $100,000 to do.
Wow. Yeah.
We have some money and ticket revenue. You know, when you run a show, we do 11 shows, 280 seats as the potential at around $40-ish a seat. as a median ticket price. I think there's early bird and like senior discount, but then the regular ticket price is a little higher. Yeah. And so, like it's possible to make a chunk of money, but we also, it's upfront costs and everything like that. Like people need to get paid. I mean, I won't get paid until the end if we make any money.
Right.
But I mean, Sharon and I are, it's the same thing we did the first time. We're like, well, if it makes money, great. If it doesn't make money,
it was cool.
It sounds good. I'll dig your grave, you dig mine.
Yeah.
They're like, I don't know. Yeah. But it's still, it's funny because it's like, you got to eat, but it's also like it can't be about money. You need enough money to pay everybody, but you also need to be at peace with It's so hard reconciling art and money. I would love to be at a place in my life. My goal is not to be, a rich man. I have no desire to be a rich man.
Yeah.
But I would love to be able to not worry about money.
Yeah. Big time.
So, I mean, hey, if anybody listening has any spare dollars they want to throw on, we're give it to our fundraiser. Or, better than give it to our fundraiser, come and see the show.
Yeah.
And get your friends also to come and see the show, because it sucks to doing a show for no one, because you'll still give it, we'll still give it and go to where we got to go to every night. But like, I don't know. Have you ever done a show for like 2 people?
I don't think so. But like,
that's nice.
I've done.
Must be nice.
I was thinking like, I guess I've done shows for 2 people who are paying attention, and there's other people around.
That's it, right? Yeah. It's.
And that or the worst one, and then those 2 people like get distracted, and you're like, fuck.
Yep.
Yeah,
You're giving. I did some fundraiser event the other night, and it was like, whatever. That's just the gig. I feel bad as a live musician when I leave a gig and like I'm tempted to just be like, next time you should just put it on an iPod.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, nobody here wanted, like, they didn't want to listen to this. Or not put it on an iPod. You should have got like somebody to just like play piano quietly in the background.
Yeah.
Not to have me like being like, I need a hero. Like, for like no one.
Yeah.
Right? I was just like, oh God.
Just really giving it, and just no one's.
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough giving it when no one cares. I
always think of it like if literally just like one person is locked in, like I'll give it everything and I'm happy to do that.
Absolutely.
But then like if that one person is now knocked in, I'm like, oh fuck.
Yeah.
That's like what am I doing here? Man.
People, I don't know. At least my perspective as an artist is just like, I enjoy making things, and I enjoy when the things that I make bring other people joy.
Yeah.
Or make them, or not even necessarily joy, but make other people like feel something. Mm-hmm. You were moved in some way by that thing that I made. Means I didn't make it for nothing, because it had some impact on somebody outside of myself. And and if it just has an impact on myself, that's also fine.
Yeah.
But it's nice when it touches somebody else. And I know that this play does, because that's the only feedback we've gotten. Is people being like,
I mean, coming back for a second run is enormous.
It's yeah. I was pretty shocked to hear that was a thing that was wanted. Yeah. Again, I was like, well, that's it's nice to feel wanted. Mm-hmm. Especially it's the feast or famine nature of arts work, right? Like last year, I worked from end of September through to mid-May. Without a break. I had like overlapping theater contracts, boom, 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 4 theater shows. And this year I have Afterlight and then like nothing. I'm like, it's just so strange, because you go like, oh, I guess I was wanted and now nobody wants me. And, it's very tough to reconcile, just what that is. I feel like a lot of arts workers...
Yeah.
The mental health for arts workers, it's not like, it's like, oh, we all need mental health help. And it's like, well, yeah, because like, look at what we do.
Yeah.
People telling you like, oh, you're incredible. You're going to go so many places. And then you don't. Yeah. And it's like, nobody wants you. And it's like, well, is this just a wasted potential? Have I just wasted my life? But when somebody actually is touched by it, or, wants to talk to you even, I was looking at this house and talking to a neighbor and said, like, what's the area like? And, I said, would it be, chill? Would neighbors be chill with somebody who, like, I'm a theater guy and I play music and, and she was like, what's your name? I was like, Duncan, and she was like, I know who you are. I saw your vampire musical. It was
Oh,
great. And I was
no
like, oh
way.
man.
That's
I was like, man,
awesome.
my mood like changed for the day.
Yeah,
I was like, that's hilarious.
yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
Yeah. And even like, because I was looking at the Rainbow stage, like what's going on, and it's literally all apart from Afterlight and like one other thing. It's all like these established brands, IPs, like like Frozen and this and that.
Oh yeah.
And then see, like for like a completely original production to be picked up again is pretty sick.
Rainbow's pretty cool for their artistic director Carson Natras. Like he took over and he wanted, like his thing was this Manitoba first. He's like, we have people here. The previous artistic director hired so many people from Toronto, and it pushed the people who lived here to move to Toronto in order to book the work that's here. And it was like, what is this system?
Yeah.
As opposed to Carson's plan is going like, we have people here, let's foster the growth here. And so it's fostering the growth for musicians and for actors and dancers. And now like they're extending it into creators as well. And it's like, it doesn't happen overnight. But I'm just like, it's great to see. It's really great to see that.
Yeah.
For and there's other companies in the city who foster creation of theater works, but not so much musicals. Musicals are a different bag, and not everybody understands them.
Yeah.
And not everybody. They're also like, musical theater is like the expensive version of theater and the expensive version of music.
Right.
Because you have both,
Right.
and like everybody got to get paid.
That's a funny point.
Yeah. And it's,
And it's just a weird, like, because I don't know, I've just never really been in that sphere. So, like, I've seen a couple, like, I saw a couple at Rainbow Stage when I was a kid. I saw, like, The Wizard of Oz and Sound of Music. That was my mom's favorite.
Right.
Love them, but then, like, it's just one of those things, like, if it doesn't, I just, like, don't think to go to one ever,
It's funny. Those are... Wizard of Oz and Sound of Music are both very old musicals.
Oh, yeah.
They're very, very old. Afterlight is something new.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
And it's like... And it feels new also. There's stuff like there's Golden Age musicals. Everything's kind of... Yeah, I feel like, it's funny. My Uncle Larry likes to tell this story. He's like, oh, he brought one of his friends and he said, like, well, he was like, I don't really like musicals, but whatever, I'll go to see this thing. And at intermission, he was like, hey, I really dig that they are like, they're just like talking, and then all of a sudden it's like, they kind of like, it's like music starts, but they're still speaking, and then they end up like singing, and then they're back to talking again. It's like, what just happened? Yeah. And my Uncle Larry's like, yeah, that's a musical. Yeah. It's like, it's actually like it can be kind of cool if it's done well, right?
And I did see recently, I saw the Book of Mormon, which was amazing.
Great show.
Amazing. Yeah.
That's an awesome... I saw this tour that went through the concert hall. It was so good. Yeah. This was like years ago now, in 2015. No, earlier, maybe even. It's like, that's a funny show.
That's hilarious.
Man. Yeah. I don't want to give anything away about Afterlight or any of the jokes, but I'm just like, it's also like, look, it's funny. It's Sharon and I as a writing team, I'm like, I always tend toward the sentimental, and she always tends toward the humor. So as writers, we end up with like, it's like funny, and then somebody says something, and it's like, oh, because we were just laughing so hard, we're now like, that just hits so hard. Nobody wants to leave something and be like, life sucks.
Yeah.
I was like, no, like have a good time.
Yeah.
I
think especially with a musical, it's like supposed to be, light and fun, and you can hit the serious moments, but it's like
that is how you make people feel. Is by giving them a good time, and then like it sneaks up from behind them to just be like, oh, just kidding. Actually, actually you're gonna cry, but you can also you can cry and leave and go like, wow, that was so good.
Yeah.
And it's funny. Like it's also magical. The thing about musical theater is there's always like, I'm not gonna say magic tricks, but there's always things that you go like, how the fuck did that happen? Or you go like that way, I'm a vampire. What do vampires do? Do they, like, if they turn into an animal, they turn into a bat. Do I turn into a bat in the show? sure do.
Mm.
How does that happen? It's pretty fucking funny how it happens. And it's not me being like it's we have a bat that I turn into. And it's a very cheeky, silly, stupid.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's so much fun.
Oh yeah.
Do you have any other musicals in your brain floating around where you're like, this could be something in the future?
Not hugely at the present moment. I've been focusing on a different project with my band, an album.
Nice.
That I've been writing over the past since 2019, whatever that is, 6-7 years, and there's tuning on the guitar called Dadgad. You ever playing it?
Yes, I can't remember any songs that use it, but I have fucked with it.
It's like the Celtic tuning,
Okay.
and I love Irish music, so I ended up finding it at one point, being like, this is super cool. I'm gonna do this. I went out and did a residency with my theater company at the time at the Experimental Lakes area in southwestern Ontario. And I ended up writing this song in Dadgad tuning with a capo at the 5th fret. It's called Across the Lake, and I really liked it. I thought it was quite nice. And then over the pandemic, I wrote 2 other songs that were in Dadgad tuning with a capo at the 5th fret. And the songs were titled I Walk Down and Two Waters Break. And I went, oh, I walk down to waters break across the lake. Oh, it's a rhyming couplet. Oh, that's cool. So I should write another one to fill that third thing, which is going to be, in Dadgad tuning with capo at the 5th fret. That was the parameter that I set for myself. And I ended up not being able to get it before I got something else. And I went, okay, well, maybe it's a quatrain.
Right.
And then before I finished that quatrain, I had another one. And I was like, well, maybe it's a sestet. But I was like, that's a terrible name for an album. So I was like, okay, well, I guess it's going to be, what's an 8-line poem? And it's called octave. That's what's called an octave. An octave being, the distance between 2 notes also in music, right? But it's an 8-line poem. It's called an octave. And I thought, well, that's just fucking poetic. So I've written this album of music that is it's 16 songs, 2 titles per line, and an 8-line, and they spell out like an 8-line poem.
Oh,
and they are all
awesome.
written in Dadgad tuning with a capo at the 5th fret.
Yo, I love that.
And so I'm slowly introducing the songs to my band as we go. And the goal is to record some of those, to record that, and really flesh it out. And
I love that you're big on the high concept stuff. Like the Hamlet is such a curveball.
I think it's just interesting. One of the things that I think as a writer, as a creator, is really what do I want to write about? It's just the thing. That's what kind of really drew me into theater. Is that somebody, you work with a writer and they go, well, here's the idea. I go, give me an idea, I can write a song about it. There's some Peter Gabriel quote about something. It's like, he'll give an artist complete freedom and he'll just he'll squander or,
right.
Mess around and nothing will come. But give him a set of limitations and that's when they get creative.
Yeah.
And so I was like, man, the things you can do when you go, I have this tuning and it has to be with the capo on the 5th fret. I have to be able to sing everything. I have to be able to play everything. And all these songs have to sound different.
Yeah.
But they're all in basically an open D tuning.
Yeah.
So you have songs that are not in D, or whatever the transposition ends up making in G.
Yeah.
How do you do that? What are the voicings used? You get really interesting voicings. Move around what different time signatures. There's one that's just it's just the same dum 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 dum, and I'm like, it's in 5/4 time dun 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 5/4, and then a bar of 6/4 5/4 6/4 5/4 6/4 7/4 6/4, just because it's I just gotta I just gotta make something.
Yeah.
And you end up doing these things that I'm otherwise, I never went to music school. I'm not a polyrhythm. You know, I don't know. I don't really even know a lot of scales, to be honest. Like, I'm not that guy. And it's so funny being with my band who, like, Paul is a jazz major at U of M, or, you know, he did jazz at U of M. Matt is like one of these fucking bass monsters from Brandon University. Like, Brendan plays with the WSO and teaches at Brandon University, and like Josh teaches guitar, and he's like an incredible guitar player, and also has like a voice degree from U of M.
Wow.
And I'm like, all of you have such an incredible technical knowledge of music, and the rules. And what I bring to the table is that I don't know the rules, so I break them freely, you know, and then leave everybody else to put them back together. And go like, you can decide which rules I'm breaking. I don't even know the rules that I'm breaking.
Yeah.
It's so fun.
I think something special to that because I know the foundation of the rules.
Yeah.
And then I will often struggle like to break them, or I have like specific ways that I've broken them in the past where I'm like, okay, that works. But like, it's rare for me just to like get on the guitar and be like, I'm just gonna completely go like with my ear.
Bam. Yeah.
It's always like I play a couple chords and I'm like, hey, what key are we in? Like, it's usually how it goes, you know.
It's just strange how limiting knowledge can be sometimes, right? Yeah. I mean, because it's also like, I wouldn't say to anyone who wants to learn, like, don't learn, you know? I think it's just that idea of like, oh, think outside the box. Sometimes I've just found it easier to think outside the box if I don't even know where the box is.
Yeah,
you know?
right, yeah. I guess you get to like learn both kind of at the same time. Like, you don't like I teach too, and like on the first lesson we're not gonna be like, okay, like this is the C major scale. Like for never.
No.
Like that's lesson 6, 7. Like let's, you know, just have fun to start, like mess around, experiment, and then we can kind of reel it in. We're like, okay, well, this is like, you know, this is how it works, you know.
Yeah, it's funny, like, you know, even as a guitar player, it's funny to not know how to play. Like I don't know how to play the pentatonic scales, you know, and so when it's like, oh, do you want to take a solo? And I'm like, no. Like, absolutely not. You know, I'm like, I'm very much like a rhythm guitar player. But I'm like, I could write a solo, or I could come up with a solo, but to just improvise on the spot in that sense. I'm like, I can improvise a chord progression that would sound dope as fuck.
Yeah. You know? I'm basically the same way. Like I know the pentatonic. I can play notes that are not going to sound terrible. Like, but like, it's not gonna be great.
In this whole jam at the folk fest, like, nope, none of us soloed.
Oh yeah,
like, none of us. Walker didn't solo, you didn't solo, I didn't solo.
I didn't really think to do it.
Well, there was things like, I was like, nothing calls for a solo. In some of these moments, I was like, if we don't, like, none of the songs we chose really called for it. But it's also like, I am good at transposition. So it's like, oh, you know, you guys want to play a song in, you know, like whatever, G, D, E minor, C, and I might be like, I might just put the capo on the 5th fret,
right,
and play it in D, or something. You know,
that's cool. I wouldn't even think to do that.
I'm always, you know, I did this first show that I booked. It was called Once. You know, Glenn Hansard. That's a movie. It was a movie. Once.
No.
It's got that big song, Falling Slowly. That's like I don't know you, but I want you all the more for that. No, I don't know. It's gorgeous. So it's worth checking out. I actually haven't seen the movie, but whatever. In this show, 12 actors and a bunch, 13. And one, like, there's times when I'm like, 5 of us are playing the guitar. I'm like, our music director, I remember him saying, like, everybody, like, just do the same voicings. I was like, why? If you want us to all just do the same voicings and all the same strum pattern, why don't you just have one of us play and turn it up?
Yeah.
I was like, why, when you can get this and this and this, as your C chord and have them all ring in at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why wouldn't you? You know, I have somebody lay out and then come back in and somebody's going, have something like that go in, you know, and somebody else going,
Yeah.
I'm like, why would, like, I'm like, that's music, man.
Yeah.
You know? I don't know. But it's
Even
strange.
just a simple, like, we're big in our band of, like, if Alec and I are both doing chords, I'm usually open and he's usually bar chords, power chords. Like,
It's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Works.
Because he's also on guitar, eh?
Yeah.
He's both on electrics.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's just like, you know, you can get different sounds out of different places on the guitar. Yeah, it's cool.
Mm-hmm.
I love music.
Right?
Music is so cool. It's just like it never fails to impress me and make me smile. The things that people can do, even in a situation where like we haven't rehearsed. You know, we just sat down. We don't even know each other. We just happen to both be here, both be playing some. Oh, do you know this song? Kinda.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Well, let's do it. And like,
And half the time, do you know the song? Like, not really.
No.
Like, okay, we'll try it anyway.
and it's like that is like, wow, that's the best version of that song I've ever heard.
Yeah.
That was so cool. And there's somebody randomly like way back over singing a harmony, and it's like I've never even heard that harmony. I didn't think that harmony would fit in here, but it does. Man, it's so cool.
Yeah.
God.
Well, Duncan Cox, I think we've said it all. Thank you so much for coming.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Yeah, and I hope to see you next year at Folk. I'm
That's
sure
the hope.
it'll happen.
That's the hope.
Birdcage, 5 a.m.
Sounds like a plan. I'll be there.
I'll be there. Anything else you wanna say to the people?
Thanks for listening. If you've gotten this far,
Yeah, honestly.
that's it. Man, it's great. It's a pleasure to be here.
Fuck yeah. All right. Till next
Cool,
time.
man. Peace.